Tea towels do not need to be ironed. By Narelle Hancock of Shoalhaven Heads, 2535. Narrated by Rowena Robinson. Humans are repositories of knowledge and wisdom. As we grow older, we collect more and more of these respected qualities, and it is the duty of the senior members of society to pass this knowledge on to the younger generations. They in turn will be in awe and wonder at our sage advice. There are some things, however, that are no longer relevant to a new generation, while others, although they seemed like a good idea at the time, viewed in hindsight, turned out to be disastrous. My grandmother, as a teen, was a maid to a wealthy family, and there were certain requirements that needed to be adhered to in this position. She felt the need to pass these on to me. The first dealt with housekeeping. Monday was washing day, and everything needed to be on the line before 9 a.m. Shirts, tablecloths, pillowcases, and sheets all needed to be starched. Tuesday was ironing day, and each item was to be ironed and folded precisely. This included sheets, pillowcases, undergarments, and tea towels. The second was that church attendance was compulsory, even though it was your only day off, and a hat and gloves must be worn to uphold the family's reputation. Thirdly, a husband's word was law. Sons inherited the family business, and daughters needed to be wed before age 21, or be considered left on the shelf. My mother followed much of this advice, including ironing tea towels, but benefited by the arrival of synthetic sheets that did not require ironing. She added more advice to my housekeeping acumen that included the directive to not waste anything. Therefore, worn towels could become hand towels, which in turn became face washers, and finally cleaning cloths. Every penny needed to be accounted for, so she had numerous notebooks in which she kept a note of every item she ever bought. Price rises were underlined in red, and receipts were carefully filed in shoeboxes. We were required to eat everything on our plate, as people were starving in Asian countries. I was never able to understand how putting on unwanted weight was in any way helpful in alleviating the hunger of others. Schooling also became a great source of knowledge for my younger self. However, in the 70 years since my instruction, I have never found an opportunity to display my prowess at maypole dancing or marching in formation. The need to do algebraic equations has eluded me, and everything I learned about space has been turned on its head. Countries and capital cities have changed borders or names, and Britannia no longer rules the waves. Empire, bonfire night, no longer exists, which is probably a good thing, as this has reduced the risk of lost eyes, fingers, and the starting of occasional house fires. We now attend public gatherings to watch much more expensive displays, but at a safer distance. At school, I was taught that the white male was a superior being, and was surprised, as I matured, to find that people of other religions and races not only didn't want to be saved, but didn't need to be. They also had equal rights, as did women. Teenage years brought teenage angst, peer pressure. We laid for hours in the sun on the beach covered with coconut oil, then compared blisters, peeling, and hopeful tans. We lit up cigarettes to be part of the cool crowd and rode too fast in cars driven by our latest crush. It all seemed like a good idea at the time. In fashion, girls wanted to be flat-chested and waif-like to emulate Twiggy, while the boys forced their bodies into skin-tight trousers and wore their shirts open almost to the waist to display their collection of gold chains. Nowadays, fashionable women have breast implants and bottom lifts. The question, "Does my bum look big in this?" no longer seems relevant. In the future, perhaps my Rubenesque figure will again be in vogue. As teenagers, we weren't the only ones to get things wrong. The arrival of plastic was hailed by all as the product of the future. If it could be made of plastic, it was. Everything was cheap and disposable, only we never actually were able to dispose of it, and we are still trying to find a solution to the problem. The harm caused by burning coal and logging forests was never anticipated. Families have become smaller, marriages fewer, and divorces more numerous. Gender is no longer binary. People have become influencers and have thousands of followers on social media, most of whom they will never meet. Text talk has superseded long love letters, and dating apps have replaced the opportunities we had to actually meet someone through church or social groups. The gym has filled that gap for those that can afford it and already have beautiful bodies. Shopping is done online, often from places that no longer have a storefront. So the delight of window shopping and the wicked excitement of trying on something you could never afford has been lost. COVID proved that even in Australia, states and cities could be locked down, often on short notice. It also proved that we do need human interaction and how important it is to be able to give or receive a hug. So what advice would I transmit to the following generations? Know where others have travelled and learn from their wrong turns, but remember that you are unique and must seek your own destination. Human contact is as necessary as the air we breathe. Don't push people aside because they are different or you are busy. You may learn valuable lessons if you listen. Change is inevitable and necessary, but the adage, "If it sounds too good to be true," holds true. Finally, no one is, or should ever be, expected to be perfect. So, tea towels do not need to be ironed. The end.